parents excluded me from the housewarming party in the home I bought for them because they decided to invite the brother I went no contact with over this disgusting thing he did to me years ago, claiming that they were just trying to protect me and respect my boundaries. So I sold the house the next day and told them I was protecting my boundaries by not letting them play happy family with him under the roof I paid for. I bought my parents a house a few months ago, not just helped them with paperwork or paid off their mortgage. I went out and bought a house, fully paid, under my name, and handed them the keys. No strings attached, no rent expected, no you owe me. I did it because I could and because I thought that's what love looked like. I had finally hit a point in life where I was financially comfortable, working in tech, living well within my means, no student loans left, no major obligations. I thought it would make them proud. I thought it would give them peace. It was a modest single-story home in a calm suburban neighborhood, 3 hours outside the city. Nothing too flashy, but the kind of place where the neighbors waved to you in the mornings and kids rode their bikes down the street in the evening. It had a small garden patch my mom could play with and a shed my dad could tinker around in. They always said they just wanted somewhere quiet to retire. I thought I was giving them that dream. I spent 2 months visiting every other weekend while the renovations were happening. New tiles in the kitchen, fixing the leaky bathroom, and getting the HVAC system upgraded. I didn't cheap out. I treated this place like I would if I were going to live there. I even paid for a mover to bring their furniture from the old apartment. The day I handed them the keys, they cried. My dad patted my back and said, "You did good, son." For a while, it felt right. I would get photos from my mom of her planting tulips or from my dad bragging about the grill he finally set up. My cousins congratulated me. A few friends even said they wished they could do the same for their parents one day, and for once I felt like the other sibling who did something meaningful. Then last week, I found out they had a housewarming party. I wasn't invited. At first, I thought maybe it was a surprise or something informal. I saw the pictures on Facebook. My cousin tagged the location. Tables were set up in the backyard, balloons, banners, a big white cake with "New Beginnings" written in blue icing. All my aunts and uncles were there, my brother too, standing right next to my parents like he belonged, like nothing had happened. I haven't spoken to my brother in 5 years. We went no contact for a reason, a serious one. He slept with my ex-fiancé. And while that's bad enough, it's only the beginning of why I cut him out of my life. Back then, I was engaged to a woman I loved deeply. We had been together for 5 years. Lived together for 2. She had just had a miscarriage, lost our baby at 10 weeks. It crushed both of us. I was working long hours in tech, stress from the loss, trying to make things okay for both of us. She said she needed space, needed comfort. I didn't know at the time that she had started confiding in my brother. Calls turned into texts, texts into meetups. One night turned into a pattern. I found out through emails that she forgot to log out of my laptop. There were hotel receipts, photos, even one of them kissing on a beach during what I thought was a solo trip she took to clear her mind. I didn't confront her. I quietly packed my stuff and left. We never spoke again. I blocked my brother on everything. He didn't reach out, didn't even acknowledge it. Later I heard from a mutual friend that he said things like, "We weren't doing well anyway," or "they were emotionally distant." My parents knew. They were heartbroken, but they begged me to forgive him, said, "He's your brother and people make mistakes." But I couldn't. And they promised to respect my choice. I made it clear I wasn't asking them to pick sides. I just didn't want him in my life. So when I saw those photos and realized they not only invited him, but failed to even tell me the party was happening, I was stunned. When I called my mom and asked her about it, she said they didn't want to make things uncomfortable for me, that they were just trying to keep the peace. Maybe it would be best if I came around another time. That was the moment I realized I didn't have a place in the house I bought. The next morning, I scheduled an appointment with a real estate agent. I also consulted a property attorney. The home was in my name. Legally, my parents were tenants without a lease. I didn't want to be cruel. I gave them 45 days notice and I offered to cover their moving expenses. I made sure I did everything by the book, but I was done. I called my parents and told them calmly. I explained that this wasn't about revenge. It was about boundaries. They invited someone who betrayed me into a house I paid for and excluded me to protect his comfort. They made a choice, so I made mine. They didn't take it well. My mom cried. My dad said he was disappointed in me, that he thought I was better than this, that it was just one event. They tried to guilt me. They said they were old and this was supposed to be their time to finally rest. I reminded them I had never asked them to choose sides. I just needed space. They crossed it. They moved in with my aunt temporarily. I heard they're looking for a rental in the same neighborhood. The house went on the market a week ago, and as of yesterday, I have 4 offers. 2 are from young families, 1 from a single retired woman, and 1 from a couple relocating for work. All of them seem like they'd treat the house with respect. Over the past few days, extended family has reached out. Some are angry, some are just curious. A few even told me they get it, that they always felt my brother skated, but without consequences, that my parents often babied him because he had a harder time holding down jobs and relationships. I tried not to get pulled into the drama. I didn't post anything online. I didn't explain my side to everyone. I just handled my business quietly. Then today, I got a message from my ex-fiancé, totally out of nowhere. She said she heard through someone that my brother was getting engaged. Then she asked if it was true that I sold the house. We ended up talking for over an hour and she admitted things I hadn't known, that my brother had always flirted with her, even when we were still together. He made her feel wanted when I was distant, that she regretted it all, that it destroyed her too. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I just listened. I told her I didn't hate her anymore. I wanted peace. It wasn't closure exactly, but it felt like a release. After that call, I sat in my apartment and just stared at the wall for a while. Not sad, just still, like something inside me had finally stopped spinning. The house sale is progressing. My parents haven't reached out again. I sent them $10,000 with a note that just said, "For your next chapter, no hard feelings." No response. Now I'm here in the quiet trying to make sense of what's left. I still don't know what to make of it all. I keep wondering, was I wrong to take it back? Am I just as bad as they are for putting them out like this? Or was I just finally standing up for myself in a way I should have, years ago? Update 1. It's been 3 days since everything blew up, and honestly, I'm still trying to figure out how I really feel. At first, there was this intense wave of resolve, like I had finally stood up for myself after years of biting my tongue and playing along. I felt powerful, even a little proud, but that feeling faded fast. Now all that's left is this weird mix of sadness, guilt, and numbness. I'm not crying, I'm not angry, I just feel hollow, like I'm floating through my day on autopilot. After I posted about everything that happened, the response was overwhelming. My phone buzzed non-stop for hours. I read every message, every comment, even the harsh ones. Some people told me I did the right thing and that they would have done the same. Others said I went too far and that I was being petty or immature. A few even called me manipulative, which hurt more than I expected. Still, I took it all in. Even the criticism helped me take a step back and see the situation more clearly. Not just how I felt, but how it might have looked from the outside. I don't agree with everyone, but I understand where they're coming from. Yesterday, I finally called my dad. We hadn't spoken directly since I told them I was selling the house. I didn't really know what to expect. Yelling, maybe, or just him hanging up on me, but he didn't do either. He answered after a couple of rings, and his voice just sounded tired, not angry, not emotional, just tired, like someone who had been carrying a heavy weight around for too long. He told me he was disappointed, that he thought I was better than this. That part stuck with me, not because it was the harshest thing he could have said, but because it felt like a gut punch. I told him I wasn't doing this to punish them, that I wasn't trying to get revenge or play games. I just couldn't keep giving to people who made me feel like I didn't matter. But I don't think he believed me. I could hear it in his voice. To him, this was still about me being vindictive. He said my brother cried when he found out, that he felt excluded. I actually had to stop myself from laughing when he said that. Excluded? Really? That's rich, considering he was the one who slept with my fiancé years ago and somehow still managed to stay the golden child. I've been excluded from my own family for a long time. They just never said it out loud. And now apparently he's engaged again. To someone new this time. I don't know her name. I don't want to know, but of course the whole family is getting together for a small engagement dinner next month. I'm not invited. No one said it outright, but it's obvious. They probably didn't even consider inviting me, and even if they had, I wouldn't go. Still, it stings. It really does. It's like he gets a clean slate, a happy chapter, while I'm stuck here reliving old wounds that never healed right. I talked to the real estate agent again today. There are already 3 serious offers on the house. One is from a retired couple who want to be closer to their grandkids. Another is from a young family with 2 toddlers. The third is from a single woman who's relocating for work and says the layout reminds her of her childhood home. All 3 sound like people who would genuinely appreciate the space. That part brings me a little peace, knowing the house might go to someone who truly values it, not just treats it like a given. I spent some time at the park today, just needed to get out of my apartment and breathe. It was one of those quiet mornings when you see joggers, people walking dogs, and kids on scooters. I brought a coffee, sat on the bench, and just watched. For once, I wasn't checking my phone or thinking about what I needed to do next. I just let my mind wander, and weirdly, that helped more than anything else. Work's been steady. My manager knows something's up, but hasn't pried. I've been getting my projects done, hitting my deadlines, but keeping to myself more than usual. A co-worker invited me out for drinks after work, but I passed. Maybe another time. I haven't heard from my mom directly. She sent a few texts, but they're all loaded with guilt. Stuff like, "I never thought you'd turn your back on your own family," or "You've changed so much I barely recognize you." Nothing about how I felt. Nothing about what they did, just guilt, blame, and disappointment. My cousin told me she's been crying a lot. I don't know if it's real sadness or just frustration because her plans got ruined. It's hard to tell with her. She's always been good at making herself the victim, no matter the situation. I keep going back and forth about something. Part of me wonders if I should offer them some money for a down payment on another place, just enough to help them get on their feet. I know they weren't expecting this and I don't want them to struggle, but the other part of me, the tired, worn down, emotionally drained part, worries that doing that would just open another door for resentment, or worse, they'd see it as a way to pull me back in, to make me feel responsible again. So for now, I'm holding off. I'm trying to focus on what I can control, making sure the sale goes through smoothly, keeping my head above water, and giving myself the space to process everything without rushing to fix it all. I'm not sure where things go from here. I don't know what kind of relationship I'll have with my parents moving forward. I don't know if my brother will ever try to reach out, or if I'd even want him to, but I'm giving myself permission to take it day by day. For now, that's enough. Update 2. Something big happened today. Honestly, I didn't see it coming and I'm still trying to process it. I got a call from my ex-fiancé, completely out of the blue. I didn't even realize she still had my old numbers saved. I stared at the screen for a few seconds before I picked up, half thinking it might have been a mistake, but no, it was her. Same voice, same awkward pause at the beginning, like neither of us knew how to start. She said she'd heard that my brother was getting engaged. I guess news travels fast in circles you thought you'd left behind. Then she asked if it was true that I'd sold the house. I just sat there for a second, caught off guard. I didn't expect her to know any of this, let alone bring it up. Turns out she and my brother had kept in touch, not regularly, just off and on, but enough for her to know about the party and everything that followed. I think that stung more than I let on. Even after everything, they still had some weird connection. She said she wanted to check on me. Whatever that really means, I'm still not sure. Guilt, maybe? Curiosity? Regret? What started as a quick conversation turned into an hour-long phone call. I didn't expect that, and we ended up talking about things we never said when everything was falling apart. She told me how my brother used to flirt with her, even when we were engaged. Said he made her feel seen and special at times when I had pulled away emotionally. She wasn't excusing what she did, she just wanted to be honest. Said she'd been carrying the shame around for years, and that it ruined a lot of things for her, that after it all blew up, nothing ever felt right again. She said she didn't reach out back then because she assumed I'd never want to hear from her again, and she was probably right. She mentioned she'd moved around a lot, tried a few different jobs, even did therapy for a while. None of it stuck. She admitted she still thinks about what happened and how it all could have been different if things had just played out another way. She told me she's not with anyone now, that she never really got over what happened between us. Part of me wanted to ask why she was telling me all this now, years later, but I think I already knew. People wait for the door to crack open just a little, to say what they couldn't say when it mattered. I guess this was her moment. I told her I didn't hate her anymore, and I meant it. I told her I just wanted peace, no more anger, no more dragging around this emotional baggage like it's still 2019. I don't know if that was closure, not in the traditional sense, but it felt like something cracked open inside me. A release, a softening. After the call ended, I just sat there in silence, and then I cried. Really cried. The kind of crying that sneaks up on you. Not loud or dramatic, just quiet and heavy. I haven't done that in years, not since the miscarriage. Not since the betrayal. I thought I had hardened past the point of tears, but I guess some feelings don't go away. They just wait for the right moment to come back up. After pulling myself together, I went for a long walk. No music, no phone, just me and the street noise. I passed by the coffee shop we used to go to. It's been turned into a pet grooming place. Funny how everything moves on, even if you're still standing in the wreckage. I walked all the way to the park at the edge of the neighborhood, sat on a bench, and just watched people go about their day, kids playing, dogs chasing frisbees. It was normal, uneventful, but for some reason it helped. When I got back home, I called my realtor and confirmed that I was still moving forward with the house sale. That part hasn't changed. The offers are there, and I'm committed. She told me a young couple was especially interested and might put in a full cash offer by the weekend. I hope they get it. I hope they make it a real home, one without ghosts. I also started sorting through some of the boxes I had put off unpacking after moving out of my last place. Found some old photos, a few notebooks, a broken watch I meant to fix years ago. I don't know why, but going through all that made me feel lighter, like I was peeling off a layer of something I didn't need anymore. I didn't talk to anyone else about the call, not yet. I'm still processing it. There's no neat ending to this, no big resolution, but something in me has shifted. The anger doesn't feel so sharp anymore. It's more like tired sadness now. Exhaustion, maybe. Like I've been carrying this grudge for so long, it's just worn me down. I think I'm finally ready to let it all go. The pain, the resentment, the what-ifs. I don't want to keep reliving that chapter. I don't want to keep defining myself for what other people did to me. I just want peace, whatever that looks like, however long it takes to find it. Maybe today was the start of that. Update 3. The house sale officially closed yesterday. I got the call around noon. My realtor sounded upbeat, said everything went smoothly. The buyer wired the remaining amount. The title company finalized the deed, and just like that, it was no longer mine. Part of me felt relieved, and the other part felt nothing. Not sadness, not happiness. Just a strange blank space I didn't know what to do with. I drove by one last time later that afternoon. Not to be dramatic, I just wanted to see it empty. No porch chairs, no lights on in the hallway, no smell of cooking or old wood polish. All the furniture was gone. The porch light was off. I left the extra keys in the lockbox, took a quick photo of the front before sitting in the car for a bit. Engine running, windows cracked, just breathing. The couple who bought it is moving in this weekend. Retired teachers in their early 60s relocating to be near their daughter. I met them once during a showing. They seemed warm, thoughtful, kind of people who'd actually water the plants and wave to neighbors. I hope they like the place. I hope they build a quiet life there, one without all the tangled baggage I left behind in the walls. After that, I stopped at the sandwich place a few blocks away. Same shop I used to hit up when I was doing weekend reno work on the house. Funny how the body remembers a routine even when your life has completely shifted. I ordered the same turkey melt I used to get, sat in the same back corner and stared out the window like nothing had changed, except everything had. The next morning I mailed my parents a check, $10,000. Not a guilt thing, not hush money, just something to help them get settled. I knew they'd need it. They're living in a rental now, a 2-bedroom unit in one of those aging apartment complexes with brown shingles, shared laundry room, and a management office that smells like printer toner and old coffee. My aunt helped them find the place. I haven't heard from them directly. But my aunt let me know they got the check. No thank you, no text, nothing. I wasn't expecting a parade, but still. It's wild how silence can feel louder than words. That same week I got a call from the bank confirming the escrow release. Everything cleared. I also officially closed all the joint utility accounts. The electricity, water, internet was still in my name. Stuff I'd set up back when I was managing the move-in for them. I made sure there were no lingering balances. Sent the final bills to their address with printouts just in case. I didn't want any "he left us in the lurch" stories floating around. I'm done playing the villain in someone else's narrative. I also cleaned out my own garage. There was still a few bins of their old stuff. Tools, seasonal decorations, and boxes they'd asked me to hang onto back when the house was still new and full of possibilities. I donated most of it. My friend, who runs a neighborhood center, picked up the larger furniture. I didn't even open most of the boxes. Didn't see the point. Last weekend I took a solo road trip, nothing grand. Just a quiet lake town, about an hour and a half away. I didn't tell anyone, didn't make a plan, just packed a bag and drove out early. Got breakfast at a greasy diner where the waitress called me Hun, walked the lake trail with a coffee in hand, and wandered through a used bookstore for over an hour. I left with a $3 paperback I'd already read years ago. No real reason. It just felt like something I should do. Monday morning I ran into an old neighbor from the street where I grew up. She recognized me right away, even though it's been years. She said she'd seen the for sale sign, but thought it was one of those temporary Airbnb things. I told her it was real. She gave me a long look and said, "Your mom must be heartbroken." I just nodded, didn't correct her, didn't say a word. The next day I had a meeting with a financial advisor, first time I'd sat down with someone like that. I didn't want the house money just sitting in my account untouched and heavy. We talked through a plan, split some into savings, put some into conservative investments, maybe set aside a chunk for a future down payment for my own house. If or when I'm ready for that. Right now that idea feels far away, but I like knowing the options there. Midweek I helped a co-worker move into a new apartment across town. Nothing fancy, just a few boxes, a mattress, beat up IKEA bookshelf. Felt good to do something physical. No emotions, no past, just a simple task. Lift, carry, organize, repeat. We argued about the couch angle for a bit and then laughed when we finally got it through the door. That kind of real-world simplicity feels rare these days. That night, my cousin texted me. Apparently, there's a new family group chat buzzing with plans for my brother's engagement dinner. I'm not in it. Of course I'm not. No surprise, but still. Wild how fast people move on when it's convenient. My cousin said the new fiancé works in marketing and already posted a picture of the ring with some cringy caption about healing through love. Sounds about right. Good for them, I guess. Next morning, I went back to the gym for the first time in almost 3 weeks. I'd been skipping workouts because of everything else going on. Calls, documents, cleaning, donating, overthinking. The first 10 minutes on the treadmill felt like hell, but I got through it. I even booked a couple of personal training sessions for the next month. Figured if I'm cleaning up every other part of my life, might as well go back to taking care of my body too. I also finally got rid of my old phone number, the one my ex-fiancé called me on. That call shook something loose in me. Not in a bad way, but in a way that reminded me how many open doors I've left behind me, hoping no one would walk back through. Changing the number felt like the final lock. She can't reach out again, neither can anyone else from that version of my life unless I want them to. And I don't. Lately, I've been thinking about taking a class, nothing major, just something outside work to help me shift gears in the evenings. There's an intro to woodworking class at the community center nearby. I might sign up. I don't need a new hobby, I just think it would be good to build something with my hands. Something with no deeper meaning, just wood, tools, time and effort. Maybe even a bookshelf, who knows? So yeah, that's where things are right now. The house is gone, the family's quiet, the drama has moved on without me, like a storm that decided to skip my block. I'm okay with that. I don't wake up angry. I don't go to bed reliving every conversation or trying to rewrite history in my head. Things still hurt sometimes, sure. But it's a dull ache now, not an open wound. For the first time in a long time, things feel stable. I'm not explaining myself. I'm not trying to earn anyone's understanding. I made my choice. I followed through. I'm still standing. I don't know what comes next. Maybe one day I'll hear from my parents. Maybe my brother will reach out. Maybe I'll answer. Maybe I won't. But I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not holding space for people who made it clear they didn't have room for me. I've got my own life to build now, and that feels good. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.